Hello friends, it's Mary from Mom Behind the Computer. I wanted to stop by today and share with you some of my tips from how we have been homeschooling and doing preschool at home since life kind of got a little crazy for us. I mentioned in another video some of the things that's been going on in our lives, and I'm not going to go into it all here. You can watch that video if you'd like, but our life has been a little bit crazy since February basically. I started truly doing dedicated time for preschool at home in January. So I'll link the video to our first official day of preschool at home when I really started to work to build the habit to see if this is something feasible that we can do going forward. To be clear, I do not think that children need to necessarily have sit-down learning time at this age. My daughter is 3. I don't think that she learns the most during our sit-down time. I think she actually learns a lot more during the day when we're out and about and when we are playing, because we take every opportunity to interact and teach her as much as possible during those times. So I think she learns a lot more during those times, but I do feel like I want to start to build that habit of just quiet sit down learning time, and that is what we started at the beginning of this year. However, like I said, in February things started getting crazy, and while they have slowed down a little bit, we're still dealing with a lot of unexpected things that we couldn't have planned for in the beginning that were fitting into our day. As we've continued to try to homeschool and failed at some things and succeeded in some things, I wanted to share with you some of the tips that I've learned as I've went through this challenging period in our lives while I am trying to teach my little girl at home. My first tip is to pick a curriculum. When I first started doing preschool at home, I was just picking resources off of the internet and pairing them with some of the learning tools that we had here at home, and that went really well. I mean, there are a lot of great resources online that you can do if you need to do that. However, the challenging part was that I was spending hours and hours preparing this each week, getting the supplies, pulling the information, pairing it together, trying to make it work, making sure I was covering key items for her age. And quite frankly, I just didn't want to spend that much time doing it. I work at home, I take care of my little girl. I want to spend as much time as I can focusing on my family and building my business when I can and things like that. So I don't want to spend unnecessary time on homeschooling, if that makes sense. I want to spend dedicated time on homeschooling, but if it's not necessary time and I'm just sort of frivolously spending time on it, I don't want to be doing that. So about the end of January, I had been doing this for about a month, and I was like, I'm going to look and see sort of what curriculum is out there. And I looked and I looked, and I seriously looked at probably 5 or 6 different curriculums for preschool. And there were some good options, but I finally landed on Mother Goose Time. And I'm really happy that I did, because what Mother Goose Time offers is entire curriculum for a month based on a topic that includes different specific skills for preschoolers and concepts, and it also includes almost all of the supplies that you need to cover any of those activities. And the activities are really focused on being an activity. So being a game, interacting with a book, doing art, playing a math game. It's just really great curriculum for what I want to teach my little girl at this time. Now, full disclosure, I am a blog ambassador for Mother Goose Time, which means that I get the product free to share with you all and to share with my little girl, to share our experiences with you. However, I do not make any money if you decide to go with Mother Goose Time. I'm just sharing my personal experiences and my personal opinions. We started Mother Goose Time at the height of the craziness in our lives. So it was March, which is when a lot of things had just seriously changed in our lives. And we had some family members that needed to move in with us that month because their house had been destroyed in a natural disaster, and all of my time and energy was consumed with many other things. I was so grateful to have this curriculum so that I did not have to search and really figure out what we could be doing to guide her learning at that time, and having these supplies was even better. My second tip is to have a backup plan. I received the advice from a friend as I was going through this challenging time that I needed to have a backup plan B and a minimum that I could accomplish and feel like I taught my child for that day and that I was building that habit. She is someone who has been homeschooling for quite some time, and she wisely said that not every day is going to be able to have a full curriculum, no matter how great and prepared it is, done, especially when you're going through hard times. So we talked about what my minimum felt like it would be to feel like I was moving forward with that goal, And for me, that was doing about 15 minutes of dedicated learning time with my little mud pie. She is 3, like I said, so I don't feel like she needs to have a ton of time where she's sitting down and being calm, but I feel like that's a good amount of time. So I grabbed a workbook that I had purchased a long time ago with activities that I could do with her. And what I do is, if it's a day where I cannot fit in the games and activities and the fun things like that, I just pull out the worksheets and I pick some on the level that I know she's at. We do those together. We sing a song, we say a prayer, and we read a book. We try to focus one of the worksheets on a literacy skill, and we try to focus one of the worksheets on some sort of math skill. And that seems to work really well for us. So if we're having a rough day, if we're having a super busy day, we can still usually carve out about 15 minutes of time. And it's building that habit in her that she needs to sit down and we'll learn together and let's focus on something new. It's building that habit in me that I need to make sure I get it in, and that this is something that's important to us, so I need to place priority value on it. It's just working out really well to feel like even if I don't do an entire thing because of time restraints or stress that's going on, things like that, I can still move her forward in her learning and I don't have to feel bad about that. Which goes into my third and final tip, having grace with myself. So I felt really terrible at first when I couldn't fit in all of our Mother Goose Time curriculum, because it is a wonderful curriculum and things that I really want to teach her, and honestly fun activities I really want to do with her. I will be more successful even with the bigger goals if I just allow myself to have grace on those days that I need to stick with the smaller goals, such as the worksheets in the book and things like that. Once I started letting myself be okay with every now and then we're going to have to do just the 15-minute learning, and that's okay, it really freed me up to not feel like I was behind on those other days when I didn't have to go back and do hours of school because we missed a day or two. I was able to say, okay, where are we at now? What lesson are we going to do tomorrow? And let's move forward with that. It's challenging to give yourself grace, especially when you feel like you're really working towards a very important goal. Homeschooling my daughter is a very important goal to me right now. I don't know if we'll homeschool long term. I don't know if we'll homeschool when she's school aged, but I do know that it's something that I want to give a shot now while she's young and at home with me for sure, so that I can give input and my husband and I can make an educated decision when she gets to kindergarten age, if that is what is best for her at that time. It was so important to let myself have the grace to reach my goal in a different way than what I envisioned. What are your tips for homeschooling when things get really challenging or really busy at home? Please let me know in the comments below. I'm hoping that this can be an area where we can all learn from each other and grow in that way. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I will have more videos about homeschooling and preschool at home in the future. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a blessed day. Bye-bye.